2026, every leader needs to be a coach. The thing is, the landscape is really changing. And right now, we can see so many demands on leaders. We always see this. So, even though right now, contextually, it seems to be there's political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental influences, they are always there. So, whatever storm we're in, the storm may be different, but there are always going to be things that are going to impact you as a leader. But as the world of work has evolved, what we're asking of our leaders is more. We know now that well-being is at one of its lowest levels, as is loneliness. And the issue with that is that leaders now have got a much bigger remit, as well as performance. They're now supporting their team's well-being. And this can be magnified by hybrid and remote working, where actually that day-to-day interaction can be reduced. And we all know that it's very easy to say that you're okay on a half an hour Zoom, but a lot more difficult to show up and actually mask those symptoms when you're going into work every day seeing people. So leaders' roles have changed. Leaders are now needing to really lean into what we used to know as those soft skills. But the thing is, still, most people who are promoted to leadership positions are done so because they are technical experts. So they're good at what they do on a technical level, therefore, they become a leader. And in about 70% of cases, they have no training. They are just expected to step up and suddenly be able to do this role. And we know that when we do not have training, when we do not know what the expectations are, what do? We look around us. We think about what are the role model behaviors that we see of others, and we take those on board. So you may be a leader who has got great role models that you can learn from. There may be a really great coaching culture in your organization, and therefore you may already have the coaching skills. Or you may be a leader who doesn't have those role models. So you're not really sure what you do when a member of your team is upset, when a member of your team needs some more support. You're not really sure how to delegate effectively. Maybe you've been micromanaged. Maybe that is the normal in your organization. So you're really going in often without any idea about what good really looks like and how you can be a leader, not just a manager. So again, management tends to be quite task focused. We need to get things done. And what is excluded from that equation is how do we work most effectively with the people that we've got? Because we know that businesses and teams fail due to a fact that they don't get people working effectively, and they thrive when people do work effectively. So coaching is that secret sauce. First of all, it's about seeing everybody as an individual. We know that every brain is different. And usually as a leader, you're not leading thousands of people. Maybe you've got a team, direct reports wise, of between 6 and 10. If you've got more than 10 people as a leader who are your direct reports, there's going to be an issue there because capacity wise, how can you actually have those one-to-ones and hold that space for that many people? I'm saying this as somebody who used to have 12 direct reports, and really most of my time was in one-to-one meetings, but I couldn't actually give people enough support because I had so many people. So every leader within the structure needs to have a manageable amount of people that they can support. And then it's about getting to know that person as an individual, a whole person approach. And this is where coaching comes in, asking them questions, having curiosity, meeting them as a human, being authentic and open and curious and vulnerable to support them, really being present with that person, which is why we need to have delegated time and time that is carved out so we can be present, listening on a really deep level, not going in with our own assumptions or biases or beliefs, not always thinking because of our job title we know best, because again, we'll usually be leading people who are an expert in what they do. So why do we then suddenly think as leaders we need to tell them? How about we listen to them? I always say that great coaching as a leader means that you reduce the amount of tasks on your plate because you effectively delegate. You give people authority, autonomy, and agency, which means that you do less, but you also have more time for you to think, to make decisions. So many leaders, in fact, are working in a way that they're holding so much. They have all of the decisions, and that creates a culture where trust is low. It also means that they are stressed and they are showing everyone that they're stressed, which, if you are stressed as a leader, other people below you are more impacted. So, as a leader, we need to reduce our stress. As a leader, we need to delegate. As a leader, we need to support people to have autonomy and agency. We know, Desi and Ryan, for example, people thrive in the workplace when they have agency, autonomy, relatedness, and competence. So, if you're thinking about that from the role of a leader, how does coaching develop those? If you're giving people agency, autonomy, you're asking them what they want to do, you're giving them ownership, you're helping them to manage their time and decide how to do things, that's a tick. If you're actually building relationships, asking questions, getting to know the human behind the task, you're building relatedness. And then the competence piece is actually exploring where there may be gaps and supporting that person in terms of training or what else they need. So if you are able to develop these skills, it supports the elements that make people successful in their roles. It reduces your workload, and it means that you're working in a place where people are valued. Everyone likes to be valued. In fact, if we perceive that we're not valued, our brain actually marks it as unsafe, and therefore we perform less effectively. We have less blood flow to the core areas of our brain where we make decisions and we solve problems. So, as a leader, my question to you is, what is stopping you give space to coaching? What is stopping you develop those skills? Because without them, you're not going to be as effective. You're more likely to burn out and you're more likely to have higher stress levels.